last 3 days we have been here in Aberdeen as part of the North Sea demo tour of the EC175. Aberdeen is the capital of the oil and gas industry of Europe and an extremely important market for Airbus helicopters. We have welcomed several key stakeholders from Aberdeen, including oil and gas companies, operators, unions and the press, who have flown in the craft. The initial feedback has been very positive. All in all, an excellent visit to Aberdeen for the EC175.
I was very impressed. More importantly, I think the offshore workforce will be impressed. I think it was comfortable, it was safe, it was something that we've been looking for years, and I think this is the transportation of the future.
I was very impressed with the aircraft. Virtually vibration-free, very smooth flight, and impressed with the layout. And from an offshore worker's perspective, the emergency exit setup, 3 exits essentially, either on each side, and big windows, big doors. I think it'll impress the offshore workforce.
I flew with Alain, and he demonstrated some of the avionics on the aircraft, which was very impressive. And being a 225 pilot, a lot of it was already fairly familiar. So he was showing me some of the differences and the way that it's progressed from the 225.
Initially, you look at it and it looks quite small. It's nice and big and airy inside. No, I think there's definitely a place for it. It's a pleasure to fly. It's probably the right size. I think it'll be very popular with the passengers and pilots. And with the autopilot like the 225, it's a step forward in the right direction.
First impression is the aircraft is fantastic. Really smooth, really spacious, really bright, really airy, and it's been some years since I've flown offshore, but certainly in comparison to what we used to fly, it's a significant improvement. I think based on my experience, what they'll notice is the lightness and the airiness in the cabin, the noise and the vibration is a lot less than what you would expect, and therefore, yeah, my first impression is, of course, they would like it. My first impression when I got into the cockpit was the good layout of the cockpit. Everything was close at hand. Quite simply laid out, but all the functionality that I would expect to see in a helicopter of that class.
Yeah, I was impressed with the aircraft. I've actually flown as a passenger in every aircraft that's currently operating in the North Sea. I found the EC175 was a smooth aircraft, but above all, I guess there was a sense of space, and it felt very comfortable inside the cabin. I think it's also very clear that you've listened to the industry in terms of the specific requirements that we have in oil and gas, in terms of the aircraft spec and fit and some of the avionics.